Hello and welcome to session 3 of the IJR press workshop. So today we'll be involved in critique of a sample manuscript where all of you have already been divided into groups. So we'll have the team leaders convey your thoughts while the faculty tell you how to go about it. So we begin with the introduction, which will be taken by Dr. Vinod Ravindran.
So how do you want to do it, Latika? Just for the benefit of everybody.
So
Good evening.
we have Dr. Ritasman here. He is the group volunteer for the introduction section. So probably you could share your screen, and I think Ritasman has already shared sample corrections.
May I interrupt?
Yes.
Hi, this is Ashish here. So what we decided for our group, how we were going to do it was this. The group leader discusses in 3 to 5 minutes what his group's take is on that. Then he invites the other group members to speak for a minute if they have any additional comments. And then I would take it up as the group moderator or lead or faculty advisor to have any additional comments on that. So that is the plan that we are going to follow. If that is agreeable to all, we may follow a universal, similarly, a similar plan. Otherwise, I'm happy to do it as we plan.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable plan. That maybe they need more than 5 minutes, you know, so okay, so fine, you know. So who's the are you going to show the corrected version or something where you have noted down your comments and then you talk about it?
So in our group, we have prepared a PowerPoint presentation by the group leader who has about 9 slides to present. And I believe if they take more than 5 minutes, then we really won't need to actually add much. I'll be happy they take more than 5-10 minutes so that they have discussed everything and I wouldn't have much to add on that.
Yeah, thank you. Latika, where is my group leader? Is he there somewhere?
Latika, you need to unmute your mic before you speak.
So why don't we start with results? Because I think the group leader, he's not able to unmute for some technical reason. So
yeah, okay.
Let's begin with results. Anyhow, the methods.
I would prefer if we begin with methods. Either we follow the IMRD sequence, introduction, methods, results, discussion, or we follow the methods, results, intro discussion. An MRID or IMRD, one of those two.
Right. I am Dr. Ritoshman. I am here.
Great. Thank you very much. Let's start from the head. Okay, crack on.
Hello. Hello. When you can share your screen so that we can see whatever you had corrected.
Okay. So you just sort of, you know, give us whatever the views were of your group. Okay. Right, yes.
Before that, Dr. Ravindran, would you like to introduce the paper and just give an overview of it to everyone?
Yeah, as the title speaks for itself, you know. So this is, I hope you all agree, is a landmark paper, first of its kind in the world, written by, I mean, authored or co-authored by one of the faculty members here. So,
the video audible?
Yeah, you are very much
visible.
audible.
It is
okay.
It is visible.
You are visible, and yes, you are audible. Okay, so now this was eventually published in Clinical Rheumatology, but when we started to do this workshop, you know, the idea of a dummy paper came about, And because this is all started with the IJR's initiative, we chose this paper because it's easier to, get criticized and brutalized as the faculty with my own paper. So it is by choice. Molly Thaba, she's an additional professor of medicine at JIPMER. She did, a lot of work to produce a distorted version. The objective of this particular, session is to be able to look at all the segments of a manuscript from a critical standpoint of, I would say, as an editor, really, where you'll be making crucial decisions about the quality and the validity of content as you, perceive it, so that you allow this to go forward or you stop it with some of the valid questions you may have. Okay. So with that short introduction, I would ask, is it Ritasman?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Ritasman, please go ahead.
Actually, this I have come through the introduction part and I have taken the views of other the group members also. And after all this, I have come to some points which I found that okay, just 1 minute. That is in the introduction part. The initially that this first is the it is lengthy to some extent. To some, that is the first introduction part about the this name chikungunya derives from a word in the language, and all this what is it is needed or not in this context, because for first 2 paragraph it is given the description of the virus disease and the virus and vector transmission, but the title of the article was DMARD therapy in chikungunya arthritis. So it is more chikungunya arthritis that should be more focused. But in the first para, second para, even in the third para also, I found that it is only virus, how the virus transmission is going on, and what is the virus vector, and all these are it is more it is detailedly explained rather than the more about the chikungunya arthritis. Regarding chikungunya arthritis, it starts from the 6th para. This para onwards it is starting. Before that, after the bite of the infected mosquito, onset of illness occurs. I think these all are not needed in this context, because we are diverting from the main hypothesis of the article. And when I search for what is the hypothesis of the article, actual question of the article I didn't find. What is what the hypothesis they want to know. And another I found that they have one study written that is here. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
And here I found that one, what is it, 2008 a study was published in India, but I think it should be mentioned the who study it is, because it is better to mention the study at all by the author of the study. And there is mentioned that in this study, 48% responded to methotrexate and SCQ after 16-week therapy, but the next very next portion, it is not mentioned that yet such have never been done in the world. But I don't know whether we can write like comment that never been done in the world, because we have not we have to do a lot of adequate research before telling that this no study has done throughout the world regarding chronic chikungunya arthritis with DMARDs. Because I personally remember that during one of my presentation, I present one two articles where the DMARDs were used in the chronic chikungunya arthritis. So in this comment, this section, I was feeling that this line should be changed, or that should be written like limited numbers. And then the main is the objectives. They are written that aims and objectives of this study. It should be, I think, written like primary objective and secondary objective rather than these three objective. And they have written in the first to determine the characteristic of chikungunya arthritis which predicts response to therapy. I think it is not the primary objective, because the title of the study is to evaluate the DMARD response in the chronic CA. So to evaluate the efficacy of the DMARDs combination in chronic persistent CA, it should be come first as primary objective. And then we can tell that the other objectives to study the response, but which are the responses we want to see. Rather than detailing the virus and vector transmission and disease outbreak, this part should be elaborated more, because we want to see which response, and at 3, 6 and 12 months follow up by with which DMARDs, and whether we use any placebo therapy or not. I'm not telling that details should be written here, but to continue the flow of the article, that it should be touched, like the primary objective is to evaluate the efficacy of DMARD combination in chronic CA, and the other secondary objectives are to respond the therapy in the form of this like, and compared to the placebo therapy, and which are DMARDs are used. That is also not mentioned here. Okay. So I make some questions like that. There are repeated discussions about virus vector transmission mode of the disease.
Hang on, can you show us that you know, where you have put the questions, you know, 7 or 8 questions? Can you bring that up somewhere?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
You can share your screen, Ritasman, then we can see it.
I have shared already.
No,
maybe
we can
Dr.
see
Ravichandran can stop sharing.
Just a minute.
Yeah, this one, fantastic.
Actually, these questions which I made, there are repeated discussion about the virus regarding the information of the virus vector and transmission mode of the disease. I think which are not needed in this context of the article to detail discussion.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt. So I think these points you have already covered in you know, just now. So there are no new points here, isn't it?
No, this is all the points which I come, and actually I make a correction of, I make a scoring of a rubric system that I want to share once more.
Please. Okay. So anyway, while he's bringing, I think this is a very, very good effort from this group, and I think, you know, all the points have been captured. Some of the things which you said, you know, where you yourself have used the word, you know, probably should not be there. You have to take a final call. Okay. So if you are a reviewer or an editor, you have to take the final call saying that, you know, this is definitely not needed. Okay. So if you feel that, you know, historical details are perhaps not required, when you put the comments, you have to commit to yourself whether it is definitely required or not. Okay. So, you know, beyond you, there is no scope for any confusion. How many of you really feel that, you know, the study should be mentioned by the authors or the first author's name at all? I would say that, you know, it could be either of this is correct. Okay, you can mention that, you know, a recent study or a study published in 2008 or a study published in 2018 from, you know, the Central India. Okay. Or you can say previously study by Ravindran et al. Or previously study by Gupta et al. Have found. So both the styles are completely okay. for referencing, you know that, we are actually following the modified Vancouver system. So we are not following the AMA system. So what is used in thesis is not at all, into play in this one. Some of the, sorry. Yeah. Now let's have a look at this. Yes. Go on.
Yes, so this is the analytic 4-level rubric for introduction that I try to scoring this. That is actually there are 6 points. Grades are 4. First was introduction to topic may include clinical aspects and prevalence. That I prefer that overview is present, but what is the clinical aspects and prevalence? It should be more well expressed.
Yeah.
And
hang on. Sorry. So for the paucity of time, how many minutes we got, Latika, for this one? Remaining.
Since we have 5 items and an hour and a half, so that's 90 minutes.
Yeah. So we got, I think so we have, how many we got remaining in this one, because I just wanted to check.
5 more minutes should be good.
5 minutes, okay. So Ritasman, okay, hang on. So yeah, this was circulated to everybody. Okay, so sorry to budge in, but this is a good effort again from Ritasman and his team, that you can have a system something like this, from, at the beginner's level, I would say. But what is important is when you read the introduction, as we talked in the lecture we had in the first session, that whether or not a descriptive funneling has been used, okay, the background or the context have been set, the controversies or lacunae in our knowledge has been identified, and that is linking into whether or not there is a clear statement of how those gap in the knowledge, lacunae or controversies where would be resolved is there, linking to primary and secondary objectives of the study, or if there is a hypothesis, statement of hypothesis, and it will nicely lead on to the methods where a lot of other things, you would be asking as a reviewer or reader would come in. You can have a system, if you are just sort of, if you are critically actually reviewing a manuscript to give it some sort of marks. But this system is not very useful when you are actually reading this as a reviewer or as an editor. Even as a lay reader also, this system, this type of objective system is not a good approach, because what you want to look at, what is the sense coming out of this manuscript? When you are reading the introduction, are the authors satisfying you in terms of your primary question of them writing the introduction part, that why at all they set on to do this particular study? Okay. Any questions from any other groups or any other comments?
Looks like we have none.
No questions. So it's all very, very clear. And everybody had attended the, these videos are there on the YouTube now. You can go through it, do's and don'ts of writing the introduction part, some common pitfalls. And then we talked about, how to keep it crisp. And so I got a couple of questions, just to, so the authors have said, and I agree with you, that they should have not said, it's this type of study has never been done, or this is the first study of its kind in India or in the world. So this type of claims and assertions, if at all you are making, has to be written in a slightly different way. But even with the best of searches you have run, just I would not advise you using these type of words at all, because remember, our job is to get past that barrier of from submission to acceptance of our manuscript and be published. So so if we come across very dogmatic, assertive, making claims, tall, claims, then it is actually a put off for your reviewers and the editors. So the language has to be, you can be very scientific, academic, but still sort of your language has to be very rounded off. Okay. So I would like to thank Ritasman and his team. I think they've done a brilliant job. Thank you very much.